Hey, Jackson Arkmore. Welcome back to the next video. In this video today, we are going to be covering the 2026 goals for Jackson Arkmore and the Arkinverse. So without further ado, let's flip on over here to our 2026 goals. What we're going to do is we'll break them down by the quarters. So you'll see quarters 1 through 4. That way you can kind of see on a per quarter basis what I'm looking at trying to do in terms of goals. Whether I achieve them or not, well, that remains to be seen. But we are going to give it a try. So quarter number 1, we're going to finish up the final updates and edits for Starfall Protocol. And Starfall Protocol, there'll be a little bit more information, especially about that book as it's coming up. We're looking at around March for publishing, and it is an isekai sci-fi frontier space western. And it's a female protagonist with multiple male partners. So it'll be sort of a reverse harem light, kind of slow burn, and low spice. So there is some spice in there, some open door, but it's not prolific in the novel itself. So we'll be working on trying to do that, getting that finished up, and then starting to write book 3 of the Legacy of Echoes, which is book 3 of the series back here behind me. We'll get that done and get that rolling. And then in quarter number 2 for writing will be book number 4, which will be the finale, the last book in the series of the Legacy of Echoes. So we'll get that, and then we'll start writing book number 2 of the Corsair Saga. Well, Starfall Protocol, which was in number 1, is book number 1 in the Corsair Saga. So I'll be starting to work on book number 2, and then in number 3 of our quarters, I'll actually start writing book number 1 on the Ghostbound Saga. So this is the paranormal romance that I am going to be writing. It's kind of a paranormal romance / urban fantasy. That I'll be writing in quarter number 3. And then in quarter number 4, we'll start the writing of Project Mafia. So this is going to be an isekai space opera / mafia novel that will actually be a collaboration between myself and my wife, Rachel D. Adams. So that'll be an interesting project to work on, and I'm looking forward to it, and so is my wife. So I'm looking forward to getting that rolling. Flipping over to the publishing. So quarter number 1, publishing Starfall Protocol, which is book number 1 in the Corsair Saga. So that one will be March time frame. I don't have an exact date because I'm still working on trying to get back beta feedback, and I've got some proofreading that's due back to me. And then I've got to make sure to do appropriate updates and edits surrounding the feedback that I get from those. So I'm looking at about a March timeframe of doing the publishing on that. And then quarter number 2 will be publishing book number 3 of the Legacy of Echoes. So Legacy of Echoes book number 3 is called The Echoes of Resistance. And so that one will be coming out in quarter 2. It'll probably be late quarter 2. And then we flip over to quarter number 3, and that will be publishing book number 4 in the Legacy of Echoes, which will be the Echoes of Calamity. And that will be the finale of that series, at least for right now. And then also I'm looking at trying to publish book number 2 of the Corsair Saga, because it should be done and edited by then. So I'm hoping to have both of those out in quarter 3. And then in quarter number 4 would be the publishing of book number 1 of the Ghostbound Saga, which was what I mentioned with the urban fantasy paranormal romance, which will be an isekai as well. Now we go into marketing. So quarter number 1 for marketing, start and grow the YouTube channel. Thus, you're watching it on this video right now. So I'm trying to get this started in 2026 and to grow it. In terms of goals for that, I'd like to grow it as much as possible. I would love to have by quarter 4, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's an ambitious goal, but hey, it is something that I am looking at trying to do. And hopefully with your help and your subscriptions to the YouTube channel, I can achieve that. Then grow Instagram. So I do have an Instagram that is linked down below. in the description that I'm also trying to grow, and it will be essentially book and author centric. And then in-person events. So there are events that we do have planned out. First event is in February 14th. It'll be a Valentine's Day event, but we have any events in February, March, April, May, July, and December right now. But we are looking at doing more events as we find them. They're primarily local events here in North Carolina. We're trying to stay local, one for cost savings, and then not having to do a tremendous amount of traveling, because traveling is exhausting, and I'd much rather trying to stay local to try and build up a local following, a local fan base, and then kind of expand out from there and possibly hit some areas up in Virginia and South Carolina and Tennessee, maybe up in the DC area at some point in the future, 2027, 2028, somewhere around in there. And then, there we go. I jumped ahead. I don't know why. I just jumped ahead. And then quarter number 2, kind of the same thing. Essentially, continue the YouTube growth. Continue doing Instagram, growing Instagram up, and then doing the in-person events for quarter 2. And then quarter 3, much of the same. Only difference being is adding in TikTok, because I want to make sure that I add in doing some TikTok videos. I don't know how well that's going to go, but hey, it is what it is. And then quarter 4, last quarter, again, continuing the growth of Instagram, YouTube, continue to do TikTok stuff, and in-person events. Business. All right, so business-wise, for quarter number 1, grow the web design business. As I stated in previous videos, I do have a web design company. It's called WTC Creatives, and I do web design primarily for creatives, such as authors, musicians, things like that. So that's what I do. I focus in on the creative side of things because it kind of matches up what I do creative-wise in terms of authoring books. So if you're interested in that, if you happen to step by and you're an author or a musician and you're interested, make sure to check out WTC Creatives, and that will be linked down below in the description as well. Grow the author backlist. Again, so this is the idea of publishing more books. The more books you have, the greater the backlist. The greater the backlist, the more successful you can potentially become. So I'm working on the backlist. And then grow the publishing company. So right now, the publishing company is just myself and my wife. And so we're trying to build up and learn about what it takes to be a publisher. And then, hopefully at some point in the future, we may extend it and offer the ability for other authors to join our publishing company. Quarter number 2, continue to grow the web design business, growing the author backlist, and growing the publishing company. So it's one of those that quarters 2, 3, and 4 is essentially a growth period for us. We kind of got to a point where we're trying to grow those, and so that's basically what we're going to be focused in on from a business perspective. And then last but not least, personal. So as far as personal goals, quarter 1, learn better time management. I suck at that. It's just ADHD, ADD, ABCDs, CDFs, CBCs, all of that good stuff, all of those different acronyms that are available. I kind of deal with that. So time management is not something that I'm strong with. So I want to try and learn better time management and hopefully get better at doing this instead of driving myself nuts all the time, which happens on a daily. Spend time with family. My wife and I were pseudo empty nesters. Our kids are adults, but at least I like to think they are. At least they're adult age-wise. Mental, it's debatable, but I'd say the same thing for me. And then take time for self-care. Taking time to go to the beach, go out to the parks, to the woods, things like that, just to kind of detox and kind of take care of myself a little bit. And then quarters 2, 3, and 4 at this point right now is primarily taking the time to spend with family and taking the time to take care of myself. Because it's really important. The one thing that I do not want to do is I do not want to deal with burnout and have to deal with the consequences of burnout. So I'm wanting to make sure, as far as a personal goal is concerned, I want to ensure that I don't do that. As far as like health-wise, like eating better is always a lofty goal that I fail at because I lack control of. I'm a foodie, and that doesn't work very well for me. So I can give it a try. I can give it that whole Boy Scout try, but I don't know. I try not to set those types of health goals. I already achieved my goal of losing weight. I dropped quite a bit, 120. Yeah, about 120 pounds. That's what I dropped so far. And I'm kind of at a weight that I feel good right now. So I'm not overly focused in on that. I just want to try and make sure that I maintain my weight and then slowly introduce more activity into my life. But those are the personal goals that I have. Hopefully those are things that resonate with you. If you've got your own personal goals or even goals related to business and things that you have, go ahead, toss them down into the comments. I'd love to hear what kind of goals that you have for 2026. Considering how 2025 was, so anything would be better than what we currently dealt with. So I'm looking forward to being able to hear and see what your comments are. And take care of yourselves and take care of each other, and we will see you in the next video.